I had initially started sketching out the work in 2008 and submitted it to the New York City Opera Vox Festival, not really expecting to be accepted. But lo and behold, the work was accepted, and in fact, it was Yuval Sharon who was the head of the program at the time.
When Chris first told me he was writing an opera based on Invisible Cities by Italo Calvino, I thought, well, this is never going to work. This is not a book that can translate into anything like an opera in any kind of traditional sense. So I loved Chris's approach.
The tone of the opera is sort of this decay within lushness. The novel is a journey through these many descriptions of cities that Marco Polo visited as an explorer in Kublai Khan's empire.
And Marco Polo narrates these cities, but they're all clearly cities of the imagination and cities of fantasy and cities of desire. There's a city in which it's populated purely by the people that we knew when we were younger, or a city that is the mirror reflection of itself. There's a city in which everything is built like a spiral. These are all cities that don't obviously exist, but they become reflections of ourselves. They become a reflection of our own individual desires, our own fears.
There is a sense of emptiness that comes over us at evening.
Kublai Khan is the head of the Mongol Empire, and it's an empire which is very large and very far-reaching, and he's never seen most of it. The empire is still quite beautiful. It's just we're at the first stage of decay, and it's still set in this absolutely gorgeous garden surrounded by servants. But the thought of decay is really, and the thoughts of the characters are a lot of where the music lies.
You are likely to glimpse young women, nymphs and naiads, slender not tall, in bars or under the showers.
Marco Polo really is the artist. He's a traveler. He's an Italian merchant from Venice. It's one person who's traveled his whole life and one person who's never traveled. I realized that the opera would very much mirror the form of the book. There are these interchanges between Kublai Khan and Marco Polo, interspersed between these a number of quite short descriptions of cities, and they alternate throughout the entire opera.
It becomes an opportunity to really contemplate how our city reflects who we are and what we look for in not just the cities that we live in, but the cities that we travel to. It made even more sense to do a project about that at a place like Union Station that is all about movement, transience, and the love of travel.